Thank you for joining. If you are support the channel, and I just definitely want to keep bringing these videos to you guys so that you guys can stay informed of what's going on in the real estate market, and also just with anything real estate in general in the Phoenix area. But today I'm going to talk about, also like, comment, subscribe. Please support the channel in any way. So anyway, the question today is, should I buy a house? And it's May 2020, May 4th today, 2020. And so, is it May 4th? Let's see. No, probably not. It's probably May 3rd. May 3rd or May 4th? It's May 3rd. Okay. Things starting to blend together. For sure, days are starting to blend together. But yeah, so should you buy a house right now? I'm just going to get right into it. Basically, right now in May of 2020, of course, COVID has been happening. It's been affecting people in employment. It's been affecting just demand in real estate and people being able to purchase homes because they're out of work or they've become more fearful. Consumer sentiments are much more reserved. So it definitely has affected demand. An interesting statistic that came out recently was that the single-family listings for single-family homes, so basically any home that non-condo, non-townhome, just a single-family home, it's been a overall between basically all price points has been a 7% decline in listings under contract between April 1st and May 1st. So last year in 2019, they saw a 7% increase in the same period between April 1st and May 1st. The main difference really is just because of COVID-19 and the stay-at-home orders, and especially in Phoenix, because this is a Phoenix video, stay-at-home orders that are happening in Phoenix, also non-essential businesses being closed down. Also, actually real estate is considered essential, so people are still able to buy and sell homes, which that's why we're not seeing a massive dip in purchases. There was still activity, but just less, right? So break it down by price points. So it's always important when you see a 7% number, how did they come to that number? Usually it's all areas and types, meaning all different parts of town and all different types of property. But for this one, we break it down into price segments. So anything between basically 0 to 225 range. So any property in that price range. In 2019, they were down 6%. This year, they're down 8%. Reason why that is really because of the houses. Prices are increasing. Average price point now in the greater Phoenix area in Maricopa County is about $330,000. So you're really looking at in that price point between 0 to 225, you're looking at basically a lot of properties leaving that 225 price point and entering the next segment. But so they were down 6% in that 2019, down 8% this year. So low supply is really the story of that market segment. But what's really interesting is what's coming up between 225 and 350,000 single family homes. In 2019, they were up 8%. And they were down 1% this year in 2020. So we're looking at possibly, because demand really started actually a lot stronger than it did last year. In January and February of 2020 was a lot stronger than January and February of 2019. We probably could have expected an 8 to 12% increase in 2020 between April 1st and May 1st. Instead, we saw like a 1%. So at a minimum, we saw like a 9% swing in reduced under contract homes under contract, which really under contract homes are a measure of demand. Also in 350 to 600,000, and here's where it starts to get really interesting. Last year was up 14% in 2019. So people were buying up primary homes, they were buying up Airbnbs, investment homes, all the way up from 350 to 600. This year, they're down 10%. So now we're looking at a nearly 24% swing there. So if you have a listing that is in, like say 400, 475, 500, anything between then, you're going to see a massive decline in under contracts. So it's literally as crazy as this. So I had a listing that was 2 doors down from another listing. The listing 2 doors down went on market about a week and a half before mine did. And this is right before the national emergency was announced in mid-March. And I called that agent. They said they had many showings. It's been very busy. They got an offer and got under contract, I think it was within like a week and a half or 2 being put on market. Mine went on market, and this is after the stay-at-home orders was issued, and it was a ghost town. I had like 2 showings and then a couple agent previews over the span of like 3 weeks. So it definitely was a big change overnight. It seemed like, but you're seeing here an actual 24% decrease. So instead of it being as hot as it was last year, which actually was a more significant gain than it was in the 225 to 350 price point, then you're instead of, think about it this way, instead of driving at like the real estate market driving at, let's say 130 miles an hour in that price point, now it's driving at probably speed limit, maybe even less. So yeah, it's not going to be as fast. Your house is going to stay on market much longer than even in February, January this year. But that's just something for you to know. With that said, as a buyer, those are where your advantage points are. So 225 to 350, not much change, but there is a change. Last year, you're seeing multiple offers, 8 offers on a home full price, waiving appraisal contingencies, waiving inspection contingencies, and it was insane back then. And now instead of maybe 8 offers, you're looking at maybe 1 or 2 full price offers. So it's going to be a lot better situation for you in terms of competing. So that's one measurement there. Also, real estate is just beneficial as a long-term investment anyhow. If you're looking just to buy a house to live as a primary residence, you're going to hold it anyway, then within 15 to 30 years, your house will appreciate, right? It's going to be an asset that will grow over time. But that's the key. It takes time. So looking for a short-term gain or your investment strategy will be a little different. But if you're looking as a primary homeowner, that's going to be beneficial for you to buy if you are okay in holding it long term. And really, that's really the game. I mean, people who bought in 2006 I know actually a few people who are under water still in their property. They bought at the peak of the market, still underwater in their homes. In those cases, let's say they bought in 2005, which was the peak. Then now it was 2020, 15 years, they might be just about even or maybe a couple percent off what they bought it for. If that's the case, they just wait another 7 to 10 years, and then they're going to be in the green again. So even in that extreme case, which that's I think the only time in history that it's since the Great Depression that's happened in the market, as the markets are cyclical. But yeah, right now we're still just time. It'll take time. So as a long-term investment, it's really beneficial and to hold long-term. So I will also say, though, if you're looking for the absolute lowest possible price, now might not be the time. And that's just to be really forth and honest with you, now might not be the good time because right now there's still too much in the air. The market is shifting almost on a daily basis. The demand has gone down as we went over. And we're looking actually at low listing supply as well. I can go over that in another video. We have a low listing supply as well. So how that affects everything basically is that even though there's lower demand, there's also less supply, basically homes for sale. And because of that, it's basically driving, the prices will remain pretty much the same in the short term. Long term, though, if we see homes really aren't selling as much, and then if the demand continues to go down, then houses will sit on the market longer, and then that's when we'll start to see a shift in the prices, which could happen, right? Because there's, again, so much in the air. How long are we going to have stay-at-home orders? When can businesses go back to work? When can people go back to work? How much can the 30 million, right? There's 30 million claims, right? About 18.6% as of last Thursday, 18.6% unemployment rate national. So how long will it take to recoup that to where we were pre-COVID? it's not going to be overnight. It definitely won't be as fast as it was when all this happened, because things changed literally overnight. So with that said, since the variables are still out, jury's out on a lot of that stuff, hard to say, but prices could go down, prices could go up. More than likely now, as we're seeing the trends, it'll stabilize to slant towards going down. So there could be your advantage there. Also, interest rates. I want to talk about interest rates real quick. So right now we are actually at a very low interest rate time. Actually, in history overall, you're looking at a really good time in terms of lending to get in the market, because right now you're looking at your interest rates are basically record lows. So I have a client that actually went into they're under contract in a new build. 2.75% is what they got interest in a 30-year loan. That's incredible rate right there, and really, really good for you. And I've seen others that are under 700 credit score with some debts that are getting in at about like 4.1. Of course, they have closing costs, new build situation. But I've seen between 2.75 and 4.1, and that 4.1 is someone with 700 credit score and under with some debts. So right now in 2018, August, like fall 2018, you're looking at interest rates that were around 5. I had clients that were getting 5 that were well qualified. So 5 to like 4.25 was the low, but now they're 2.75. So the reason why I say that is because it could be beneficial for you if you're looking to enter the market to buy or get into a loan now, get into really good terms. If you can get into a conventional loan with that rate, because a conventional loan, the PMI can drop off if you're not putting 20%. If you have anything less than 20% equity in a home, you're going to have PMI that's going to cost you up to sometimes between $60 to like $120 more a month, depending on your house. But if you can get a conventional loan, you can probably right now, if you can qualify, you can get a good rate. I'll also add that it's going to be beneficial for you to, one, I would recommend definitely shopping. Definitely shop your rates for sure. It can definitely be more competitive. First one isn't always the best rate that you can get, but have them compare, right? And go out there and get a loan estimate. That's the key. Ask for a loan estimate and be able to compare that with other lenders, so they can give you something that may be beneficial, more beneficial for you in terms. And also, interest rate isn't always the bottom line. So you always have to think about it in terms of your long term, right? If you're going to hold an investment long term, a house long term, 30 years or even 15 years, if you get a lower interest rate, sometimes you have to pay more upfront in order to get that lower interest rate. So then you want to do a recoup time. So you want to understand how long it's going to take you to recoup your initial investment. So if you save, let's say for instance, $100 a month, and then you save $100 a month, but you're paying $4,000 a month or $4,000 now down, you're gonna have to ask yourself, well, how many months is that going to take to make my money back? And really, that's 40 months for you if you're saving $100. So with a $4,000 initial investment to buy down a rate, so that could be worth it. That's 40 months. That's about 3 years and 4 months, and then after that, on the 15-year, that's going to save you a lot of money over time, right? So consider that your terms as well, and your acquisition cost of the loan is important as well. So, so basically, should you buy? Right now, in summary, if you're looking to buy the lowest possible price, probably now is not the time. I would wait it out. If you need to buy a place, and if you're able to hold it long term, or if you're just going to hold it long term and rent it out, and then you're okay with either renting or buying another home, that's a good strategy. And over time, it'll work out for you. It just takes time. So if you're willing to if you're patient enough, if you're willing to hold something, that loan asset that long, with all the responsibilities that come with it, then now could be a good time for you to buy. If you have questions about more specifics, you can comment in this video, or you can message me as well in the signature. I have it in the description. You can find my contact info. So feel free to do whatever you need to reach out to me. But yeah, this could. Um, I'll do another video later on actually about the market as well. So hopefully this helps. And again, please, if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, like, comment, subscribe. Love to hear your thoughts about it. Are you thinking about buying a house? And if you are, and if you have questions about it, I'd love to be able to help you. Hope you guys are having a good one, and we will catch you next time.